Awaken as a vampire after centuries of slumber. Hunt for blood to regain your strength while hiding from the scorching sun to survive. Build a mighty castle worthy of your name and convert humans into thralls to serve your growing empire. Pillage villagers, raid bandit camps, and challenge supernatural beings, drinking their blood to steal their power. Seize your destiny, defy Dracula, and rise as the ultimate predator to rule the night.
This was ours. We ruled this land. We owned the night. But man rose up against us. We were overthrown. For centuries, hidden away in darkness. Tortured by thirst. Choking down dust. Starving. Until now, our hunt begins again.
Welcome to V Rising. I'm gonna be honest, I have played this game before, and it's not a new game. I think it came out in 2024. But I wanted to show you two different takes on this game today. One is its intended general survival, and the other is a tailored version for a more cozy experience. So I play this game both ways, depending on my mood, but I lean more towards the cozy experience. Basically, building a castle. So let's jump in and take a look at the survival aspect really quick, and then we'll have a look at the cozy aspect. So we have an online option, a private game, so you can do your own thing, and a hosted server if you want to play with a specific group of people or buy a specific rule set. I've played the hosted dedicated server and the private game, but for today we're just going to do the private game. There's nobody else joining. So then we're going to decide what type of game we want. There's the relaxed, the normal, and the brutal. I have played relaxed and normal. I usually leave it on the normal setting. I don't find the combat too difficult on that one. I think it's pretty decent. I've never tried the brutal, so that is something that you can test out on your own. I have yet to try that. But for today, I think we'll probably go with relaxed? Now let's stick with normal. Normal is just fine. So we're going to enter a world name, and we will jump in and have a look at some character design. So we're going to make our character. I love making a character in V Rising. There's a ton of options, as you can see. I mean, like, look at your color options. And there's actually quite a few feature options as well. The nice thing is you can lock in whatever you choose, so that if you die, you don't have to remake a character when you respawn. You can just stick with whatever you had before. Unless you like remaking characters, then you can just leave it as is. I don't think it selects lock-in on its own. So we'll quickly make a character. I never really try new hairstyles, although I really like this one. I usually go for like long curly hair or this bun. So I think we'll just stick with this bun, and of course it has to be purple. Lock it in. Don't need any facial hair, and we'll go for some earrings. You can't really see them with most of the hairstyles, but I do like to have them. Enter our name, and now we'll take a look at some gameplay.
I have risen again.
So if you're just going to play the survival mode, it follows a more linear path where you start with basically nothing, and you have to like go through your regular tutorial. It's kind of included in the game though, so you don't have to do a tutorial and then play the game. It's like the game walks you through a little bit and then leaves you on your own, which I really like because I don't usually play tutorials. So you get to do all of the normal things like you would in any other game. You have your inventory, you have a crafting menu available right away, so you can create some lower end armor like bone armor or some rings. And as you play, you have to replenish your blood source. So you have to keep an eye on this. This is basically like your health bar. Well, it's not because you have a health bar, but you need to make sure that your blood is there. Otherwise, you're going to die. So there's different levels of blood. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hence the V in V Rising, which I really like that they did that. V is your boss blood. So as you advance in your armor and your level, you can fight stronger enemies and gain recipes or enhancements for your castle. You can still travel during the day, which I really do like. You have to stick to the shadows though, because you are a vampire. And if you step out into the sun for a second and look away from your screen, you are toast. I mean, look at this. Look at how bright that is. Anyways, these are all of the plots that you can have on the map to build castles. And as you can see, there's a lot of them to choose from. So you get to pick a place, put down a heart, and then start building. Initially, the game walks you through how to construct a very basic castle. And then as you fight more bosses, you gain more items for your castle, different types of walls, doors, floors, wallpapers, decor, and then, of course, things you need to craft your machines.
I cannot build here.
So you can collect all those, and with each boss fight, you'll gain a little bit more, so you can add a tiny bit more to your castle.
Yet another accomplishment.
So we have quite a few different things that we can add, gardens. And there's also a lot of spells you can choose from, and you can mix and match these, or you can stick to one type, which I like. And then you have your passive abilities, and this is the V Blood menu. These are your bosses. So you have a huge amount of bosses to fight. Like, I don't think you'll ever be bored in this game until you finish it. Look at how high it goes. All the way to Dracula. But for now, we're just going to start with our first boss. If you click on it and track blood, it'll kind of lead you to where the boss is. I don't suggest you fight a boss in the middle of the daytime, though. Unless it's, like, in a heavily shaded area. Because one wrong move, and that's it, you're done. Now you do have to, like, extract the V-blood. It doesn't make your blood type V-blood, though. But let's leave that there. If you would like to just play regular survival, that's what you want to do. But I want to create a more cozy game experience. I just want to be able to wear a cute outfit, have a cute character, and build a castle. That's my favorite thing. And of course, I'll explore a little bit in there too, because the graphics in this game, I think, are beautiful. So you can create your own cozy game by just altering a few of the settings in each of the menus. There's quite a few settings that you can change. But really, if you're just trying to create a game where you don't have to worry about gathering materials or crafting items in order to progress in your castle building, then you just need to jump straight to the building menu and alter a few settings there. So of course we're going to change the decay rate, how fast your castle kind of like dies out. It's kind of a living being in this game. We're going to change the blood essence drain rate so it doesn't take as much. That's fine. I love to bump this all the way up to 5. I have never built 5 castles in a world, but I like to have the option to. It's nice to have a couple castles to jump from. I like to crank that up right to 100 so that I can start out with as many floor tiles as I would like. And of course, I don't want to worry about gathering materials or how long it's going to take to craft those materials or refine them. So I'm just going to alter all of these. I like messing around in this settings menu because I find it very easy to navigate, and I like that they give a little description on the side just in case you're not sure what it does. You can double check. And then of course I'm just going to start out with max gear and a max level. This isn't mandatory, but I just don't want to waste my time leveling. I just want to build a castle. I've already pre-built one, and I'm going to be honest, I have sunk so many hours into this castle I'm about to show you. I am very proud of it. Alright, so I've selected my plot, and I chose this sort of autumn type area. It's in Silverlight Hills. So I really like to choose the ones on the edge of the map, not really in the middle, because there's only like 1 or maybe 2 ways to get in. This one has 2 access points, so you can enter here or here. This is the main entrance. And it's quite a big plot, so there's lots of space to build. Now again, I have sunk hours into this castle, and this is something that you can spend a lot of time on or not much time. So I just wanted to show you guys kind of like what the graphics are like. I mean, I know I've shown you a little bit, but I just really love the soundscape, like the audio of this game. I love what the game looks like. Everywhere where everywhere you can build a castle, they have these old decrepit castles or castle ruins around, and this is really cool. I think this is new. They've added like villagers to the different plots where you can build. This never used to be a thing. These used to be completely safe zones, except for maybe like wildlife. So there might be wolves or bears or, you know, some other weird creature on here. But now you can find some humans just doing random things. I think there's like a poacher guiding a deer. There's these campers. I think there's a group that hunt bear. They have like a big bear trap out. And if you step on the bear traps, they'll emerge from the bushes around you and just start killing you. But I think this is so cool. I love coming across these guys. These ones are just camping. Got a tent and a fire. Anyways, we're not here to just enjoy the scenery, even though I think it's really pretty. So let's head over to my plot, which is just up the way here. I like to choose plots that are close to water. I mean, there is fishing in this game, and you do need fish to feed your servants. So I do like to try and select a place as close to water. You also need water for some of the alchemy things that you have to do. And so if you can find a location close to water, especially if you're playing the normal mode, like just regular survival, you don't have access to like a well to put in your castle right away. So it's nice to have an access point to water. So I always choose a place close to water, and we'll enter the castle here. And I like to start with a garden space, but this one here, I've decided that I'm going to put a stable in. So I've kind of created a little paddock for the horses, and I had this weird little nook. And this is what I love about this game, is you can just shove decor items in little nooks to create spaces that otherwise would be useless. And now it's just a nice little cute nook in the corner of my castle. I decided that I would make it like a place for a blacksmith to shoe a horse. So I have a tethering pole there, just some tack over here, a little spot for him to work on the horseshoe. And then, of course, I have the troughs, and hitching posts kind of everywhere in here, since this is for the horses. And we will start by going into my stable, since that seems like a natural progression. So one thing that I find the most difficult is, like, number one, the floor plan of the castle, how you're going to lay it out. But once you figure out where every room is going to go and how big the room should be, the best part is decorating with the useless items in the game. They have no purpose, but they look really nice. And there's lots of color options, and there's lots of furniture options. I think they recently did an update, so they've added a ton more to the game. They also added floating lights, and it's just, I love it. I love making spaces that feel realistic. So I've got their feed. I've got some places where you can tack up your horse. And then I have some horses here in the stable zone. I'm gonna go back out as though you were entering the castle from the main gate. And here we are, the main entry hall of the castle. There's really nothing here other than decor items. But one thing that I do like about this game is that they've kind of created it so that each piece of crafting machinery or refining machinery that you need, it has a room that it needs to go in, but you're constantly visiting that piece of machinery, and so when you decorate a room, you get to enjoy that room every time you come to your castle to create something, because you have to go in there. So over here, I've decided to create a servant's quarter. I like to include a staff room because I feel like I probably would be generous with my servants. So they have like a nice lounge area, a table for eating, and then this is their sleeping quarters. Now these coffins are actual items that you would use in the game. Once you've brought a human back, you would convert them to a servant here, and then you could, assign them tasks from there. So these do have a purpose, but I've kind of mixed them with decor items so that it doesn't feel like I just dumped a bunch of coffins in a room with the cement floor. You do have to have matching floor tiles with the items that you have in here, so I have to have a crypt floor in order for this to work at its peak. So I have done that, but they do give you a few options so that you're not stuck with just the same ugly floor for each room. I've created a little dressing area for them. These are actual storage items, storage units, so you can store items in them. But really, this would just be for some armor that you might put on your servants if needed. And then over here, we have the entry from the stable, which we've already had a look at. Next, I'm going to go downstairs because this area is my dungeon. You do need to feed your servants fish, so I have created a little storage area for that. And then I have also created individual cells for each of my prisoners. This is where you would collect your blood as you progress in the game. I don't want to ruin too much because some people might just want to enjoy the game the way that you're supposed to. But again, I have to come down here because I need to deal with the prisoners that I have and collect blood, so I have blood storage. So this room is not wasted by decorating it. I don't feel like you're sinking hours into useless rooms. They all have a purpose. And then back out here is the second entrance to my castle, or the back entrance, I guess. And there is my little pond. So I kind of tried to create like a dungeon / experimental space down here. And then over here, this is something that I would actually need for the alchemy area, but it feels like a sewer thing. So I feel like it should be in the basement of my castle, or the lowest level. So I just stuck it down here with the appropriate flooring. But normally I would put that with the alchemy flooring. I mean the alchemy room, wherever I put that. On my castle here, it's at the very top. There's a lot of running upstairs I have to do, but that's fine. Alright, so everything else in this room is decor. I think this is the most useless room in my castle because there's nothing really to interact with. It's all just decoration. From here, I have created a library. The library is probably one of my favorite rooms to create. It also feels the most daunting initially because I create them quite large and then I don't know where to start filling them. But all of these desks are things that you would use. Again, the bookshelves are all storage. The storage in this room is probably pretty excessive. There is a lot of bookshelves in here. You probably wouldn't even touch like half of these, but I wanted to keep it feeling like a library, not just have a couple bookshelves here and there. I have created an upstairs for my library, so this is more like my study zone, but I do have to come up here because my other research desk is up here. And you can lounge on the furniture. You can sit on the chairs. So I've just tried to create a little study space, a quiet space in your library. I really like this picture here. It's something that they've recently added to the game. By recently, I mean like maybe a number of months ago, earlier this year, or maybe even last year. But I really enjoy it. I love that picture. So that is the library. Everything in there is useful. Well, almost everything. If I come over here, I have my teleporting room. So this would teleport me wherever I want to go, or from anywhere in the world where there is a portal to teleport me back to my castle. And then these ones here, if you have other castles, you can link them up, pair them up so that you can travel between your castles without having to run through daylight. I did have a little bit of extra space back here that I didn't want to use because it threw off my numbers for floor tiles. But I also had this really disgusting looking item that I need for the game to reset my spells. So I just shoved it in here. It's supposed to be in the library. It didn't go with the aesthetic that I was going for. So I put it in here and I threw some library flooring down at the bottom. That way it's operating at its peak, but I don't have to see it because it looks gross. And I tried to do different wallpaper themes in every room just to show you guys what options you have. There are quite a few options and you can do different color options as well. This is my castle heart. I do have to make sure that I put blood in there. And you get these from killing all kinds of enemies, from animals to your bosses. So it's important to make sure that you replenish that. It tells you how long your castle has before it starts deteriorating. And once it starts deteriorating, if you're in like a PvP world, it's easier for people to break in your castle and steal your stuff. Everything else in here is just mostly decor. These are, oops. Just wanted to take a little rest there. These are storage units, so they're useful. And I put them here because I like to store the blood. What are these called? Blood essence. I like to store the blood essence near the heart since that's where I use it the most. The other side of this, there's another hallway down there. It looks exactly the same as this. Just a mirrored image, so. Alright, I've created another hallway. This is the opposite side of the grand entrance now. It looks the same as the other entrance, or other hallway over there, but this side is my like working side. So I have my workshop, where I have the grinders and the sawmills. Workbench. Everything in here is useful. Minus some lights and some like carpets and things. But these are all storage units. You actually have to use this workbench. And you definitely need these. Okay? Looks good. It's nothing fancy because it's just supposed to be a workshop. I don't like to just slap my machines in here though. It feels boring. Like, if you're putting all this effort into making a nice castle, I think that you should make your workshops look nice too. So I do decorate them a little bit, or at least I try to. This is something that would be closer to end game, I think, because in order to collect all the items that are in this room, you would have to kill a number of V-Bloods. So that's why I like to make this more cozy game experience. I can just chill, put on a show, build my castle, and I just find it a nice way to end my day. So again, everything in here is useful. You have your furnaces, you have storage units, and anvils and workbenches, everything you need. These things here are not useful, they're just decor items, but I think they add to the feel. Also, can we just appreciate for a minute the sound effects in this game? I mean, I'm running on a metal floor, and it actually sounds like it. And when you go over carpets, it muffles the sound. I love it. And you can hear the flames, like the torches burning. I just love this game so much. Okay, so we have seen the entire lower level of the castle. So we're going to go upstairs now. This only has one room. My throne room. Which, of course, is purple. Because why not? I did not know that you could change the color of the lights, but you can, and there are a lot of colors. I'm just going to quickly go into the build menu and just kind of show you. So if I go to the lighting, I'm going to pick this same chandelier. So flying lights, the chandelier, and then you have quite a few color options that you can choose from. So normally I just leave it on this orange color, which gives me your typical warm light. But I thought for this throne room, I would try the purple, and I really actually like it a lot. This throne is useful, by the way. The desks are not, but this is. This is where you would send your servants out on missions. And these guys are new. I haven't messed around with them too much, but I do know that you need them for the game. I think they're closer to endgame stuff, and they kind of show you where you would find soul shards, and there's another one over there that's red. I don't know what they do exactly, but they are important. These are just useless little hallways because I wanted windows, and so I wanted to kind of feel like you were outside in this area. So I've created a little hallway. Sorry, I put way too many seats in here, and she just wants to sit down all the time. And then I really like to create little balcony spaces. I find that sometimes it gets a bit tiresome always being in the dark, because you can only really move around properly at night, and not seeing any sunlight, because I feel like you're missing out on a nice aspect of the game, because they have done such a good job with the lighting, I think. At least the sunlight coming in through your windows and stuff. So I do like to include that in my castle so that I can enjoy it. You can't enjoy it if there's nothing blocking the light from coming in. So you do need glass or bars. These ones are just plain bars. And then the windows that I showed you earlier are obviously glass, like this. The light comes in. It looks nice. You get to enjoy it. It doesn't scorch your butt off. I just created some little cluttered nooks in these spaces, little sitting areas. You know, I guess if you were waiting to go into the throne room or something, you could hang out there. And then we're going to go upstairs to this space. It's actually one of my favorite spaces, although this is completely useless. But I wanted it to kind of feel like a dining room since I didn't have any place for people to like congregate. So I created a dining room here, or a meeting space. Again, it's useless. You can sit in the chairs. That's pretty much it. But it looks nice. I had to use my favorite picture again. I use this a lot, all over. I mean, it's right over there too. So let's go this way. Actually, let's go this way first. So over here, I've created a sewing / tannery. Obviously, you wouldn't do this in real life because I'm sure this would reek. But it has to have the sewing floor to work like, what is it? Matching floor. It costs less to refine materials in. So it does have to have the matching floor, and it has to be the sewing floor. So I've tried to create like 2 separate rooms. This would be your tannery with an extremely nice, luxurious carpet. I've created a couple little workbench areas. This is usable. This is not. It's just for decor. And then this side is my sewing room. These are actually dummies that you would attack, but I didn't see any mannequins for like sewing, so I just shoved those in there. This is usable. A little like changing area or sitting area if you were showing off what you were making. And then your fabric, your looms, and some more storage. And this mirror is actually usable too. You can change your look through the mirror. So you run over here. There is something that I do want to show you guys because I thought this was pretty cool. If you catch these little blue jewels in the right light, it just, like, you see how that's a bad example. Let me see if I can find one. Okay, here. That's not really well lit. Oh my goodness, I didn't. Okay, look at the floor. Look at the ones on the floor. That's the best example. Do you see how the light moves across them? I think that is... I love that detail. I guess you wouldn't notice, though, if you played the game properly, because I spend way too much time inspecting every little thing. This is my treasury. All storage. A couple decor items because I can't help myself. I just can't. I have to decorate everything. This is the jewelry crafting space. And whoopsie. This is my personal space. So my vampire's sleeping quarters. And I lock the servants out of this because they like to just go into places and leave doors open, and I don't want that happening. So I've created a nice little entryway, a music box so you can actually change the song that is playing in your castle whenever you want. That's all useless. I wanted a little like private meeting area within my chambers, so I created this spot. I have a nice living room with some extra book storage and just a little sitting area. Upstairs is actually where there are useful items in this room. So we'll go over here first. I have my vampire lockbox. You get a limited number of these. I think it's 1 when you are just doing a normal gameplay, unless you go into the settings and change that. I have my coffin so that I can sleep.
I rise.
And then I have a little changing area. Again, I have to decorate everything. So I've tried to incorporate decoration with functional elements. So again, there's a mirror so that you can change your look if you want. This is where you would store your jewels. And then you have your weapon storage, your armor storage, and that's it up here. Okay, we have seen everything on this floor, so we're going to go up to the next one. Now, there's really only one room up here. I just wanted to show you guys how you can clutter up nooks and hallways that would otherwise just be bare castle. So I've just thrown some I usually mirror whatever I do on one side I do on the other. So I've just thrown some couches in, some mirrors, and some decorative tables. So we'll go in this door, but it's a big loop, basically. This is my alchemy space. So I have my little, I love this thing, my little mushrooms growing in their tank, my drying herbs, and then this is actual storage that you would use. Over here, I have my blood press and my homogenizer and some more storage. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to decorate this space, so it's not decorated as much as the other spaces. I don't care about that one. This one here, we have, well, this is our alchemy table. And then this one here, I haven't messed with. The summoning circle, it's new. I don't really know what it does. I think you can summon little enemies that give you different blood essence things. I wanted it to feel kind of like you were coming into an alchemy lab. So I have like a scientific space over here. And then I have kind of a research space over here. Obviously, the only one you can use is this middle one, but this entrance looks exactly the same. And then over here, I was working to finish this for you guys, but I did not gather all the seeds. It takes a while, and I guess I forgot about coming back and finishing it. I apologize. But you can see a little bit of the garden space. These sunflowers are still growing. They've added a ton of extra flowers since I last actually played the game like the proper way. So there's a lot you can do with your gardening space. The flowers all have uses, and I really like making the garden spaces. I like a lot of the plants glow, so they look cool. There's my well to get water, because now that I've put my alchemy lab at the top of my castle, that would require me to run up and down the stairs just to get to that little pond outside. So I will have a well up here. It's not very realistic, but that's fine. Alright, I just wanted to show you guys this castle that I made because I thought that a lot of you would be interested in creating castles yourself. Maybe decorating is your thing. There's a lot of options. And I think it'd be cool to know what you guys do with your V-Rising castles. So that is my castle. I would like to do some other videos, maybe on, if you guys are interested on like a regular V-Rising gameplay, like the way you're actually supposed to play it. But I also want to do some more castle building ideas. So I thought maybe you guys might like to see certain rooms done different ways or with different color palettes. Maybe you want to know how to do like clutter little corners that you have in your castle, or what items you can put together to get different kind of more realistic spaces. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see. I really like this game, so I think I want to do a couple more videos with it if you guys are interested. Anyways, I just wanted to show you my castle. I hope you enjoyed coming along, and if you would like to leave any suggestions, you can drop them down in the comments. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.